Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4. Today is August 8th, 2018. Mike, how's it going?
Nice. Doing the date. That's a good move.
Just in case, you know?
Nah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, unless we take forever to release it, then we can chop the date out so that people don't know how long it took.
Yeah, then people won't know how lazy we truly are.
I'm good, man. How are you? How is sunny Santa Monica?
Sunny Santa Monica is very, very hot. It's about 90 today. Everyone just complains about how humid it is, which is really odd. Must be the heat from all those fires we got going on.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of things on fire over there.
Yeah,
it's nice here. It's
Yeah?
nice and cool here. Yeah, it's just a nice sunny day.
You're lucky.
Which
dude.
makes me wish I could cast outside. I really wish I could.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Maybe we should try to do an outdoor one since it's so easy to do indoor on the computer, let alone doing it outside.
Well, we could. I mean, I guess we could because we're not even actually like streaming. We're just recording, so
That's
we just
true.
get a laptop.
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
bring a
true.
laptop and bring a laptop and the camera, right?
Guess maybe we wouldn't even. Yeah, maybe we'll try that one day. Stream from some coffee shop.
When I don't have dudes fucking drilling next door, I'll do it. Yeah.
All right, let's get started with a couple news stories that happened this week. First thing we got was the horrible Indonesian earthquake that hit Lombok in near Bali, I guess. This thing was a 6.9 magnitude. It happened, was it 2 days ago now?
Yeah.
CNN.
347 dead.
Yeah, CNN reported that. 300 plus. They apparently haven't even gotten into the remote areas yet.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it says there's about 200 or 20,000 estimated people that are in need of assistance. Or no, sorry.
20,000.
No, sorry. 165,000 people are displaced. So I think for that country, that's probably pretty big number.
It's a big number anywhere.
Yeah, true. I mean,
That's a lot of people.
how would you feel, man? I mean, just, your whole world just gone. All you got is just whatever you were wearing, basically.
It's something I think about actually. I think just recently thinking about refugees and all that. Like, what if something like that happened here? Yeah. I mean, I think I'd pack up a backpack and bike as far away as possible.
That's my thing too. Is like if earthquake hit here, which it will, I'm sure, at some point, California.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I would throw my bikes in the back of the car and drive as far as possible until the traffic deadlocks you, and then get on the bike and then go as far as possible from there.
And just get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just bike.
Yeah, we just wanted to bring it up because, big news as far as disasters are going. It's just
And guess what? Those people are gonna have to go somewhere.
who knows where they'll go at this point.
They're gonna have to go somewhere. Somebody's gonna have to take those people in.
Yeah, 80% of buildings destroyed. I mean, my goodness.
Do you think it's gonna be us who wants to take in some Indonesian
We're
refugees?
totally gonna take them, dude.
Well, hold on. Are they white skinned or brown skinned?
These ones are probably browner than usual. So
Yeah, we're full.
yeah,
We're full.
That's not gonna work for us.
If you got some white people who need some place to live,
Yeah.
send them over. But South Africa, something happens, I think we're gonna be open
Yeah,
for business.
Why not? Let them in. Anyway, our prayers
Denmark?
to Indonesia.
Yeah, prayers.
Sorry,
I pray
guys.
to something.
If I could take in you guys, I would. I don't know what. I would love
I
to.
don't have
I
a
would love to go over there and
place.
help, but it's pretty far away at this point.
I wish I had like an extra room. I'd look into like you can like house a refugee
Yeah.
while they get
why
a
not,
job and stuff.
right?
I just don't have the space for it, but if I did, I totally would do that. Or look into it at least. Then I could interview him. I would do it for my own benefit.
Yeah, and then you would invite me over,
Turn-
and I would take photos of him in his room.
I would just be using him to make videos about him online. Sorry. Exploited.
Listen, refugees, we're doing it for the greater good. All right. Also, that happened this week. Violent protests in Portland. Have you seen this stuff?
I did not. I just saw you put it on here. I don't know what this is.
We haven't been able to screen. Does the screen share work on this G-Chat?
Oh, we're G-chatting.
I
That's
forgot.
different. Yeah, I'm looking at it though.
Okay, it works.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
looking at it.
So Portland.
But I got it up over here too.
Okay, so Portland had a riot for some anti-fascists that were going, and they were there protesting, and of course,
the anti-fascists were protesting what?
I'm not sure what they were protesting actually.
Oh my God, this guy had a helmet on and his head's fucking bleeding.
Yeah,
what the
so according to this, 100 Proud Boys arrived, and some of these videos are pretty bad. The police were in full riot gear, but they were protecting the right wingers and attacking.
Because they were less. They're probably because there were less of them, right?
Maybe that's a good point. I guess
not to say that that's right.
Sure.
I mean, you should look at who's antagonizing who. But,
right.
yeah, maybe that's why.
But the videos are interesting because they got the tear gas, pepper spray. Yeah, that one guy had. Look at this guy. Ooh.
What happened to him?
They're just shooting into the crowd.
Yeah, that's because they don't know what to do because they weren't trained for this shit. That's crazy, dude. What? Can't wait to be in fucking something.
Oh,
like that.
it was an anti-immigrant group, the guy just said. So.
Oh, cool.
Okay. It's such an interesting thing because it's like.
What was an anti-immigrant group? So that the Proud Boys are, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know this guy. I don't know if this guy that's talking misspoke, but he called the anti-fascist the anti-immigrant group. I'm not sure if he.
No, I mean, if he's a troll, they're happy to misinform. So. So
is he a troll?
Be.
I don't know who this guy is. If anybody knows who Unicorn Riot is, this next video is hilarious.
Ooh, he's got a press bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
We need one of those.
I know.
Just one though, so we can both get in it.
I want to go to one of these crazy ones, but I don't know what would happen to me because I like to get really close.
Yeah, you'd get crushed, right?
Well, look, like the cops are running at the crowd, so.
Oh my God.
This is Portland, man. Like, could you imagine this going down like this in your city? I just couldn't imagine this happening here in LA.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened in LA. It's happened in Chicago. So.
I feel like I would love to attend one, just to see.
I guarantee it's gonna. I mean, no doubt that shit's gonna happen in these cities, in our cities.
Yeah, at some point, you think?
No doubt. I mean. That it's just, I mean, the pressure is building and not letting go. So, I don't have any doubt that we're just getting to a point where this stuff's going to happen more and more.
Right. Yeah.
Unless Trump loses, then it'll stop happening. Or goes to jail.
Yeah, and then
that'll release that pressure. You know what I mean?
Ugh. This guy got, oh God, yeah. This picture of this guy back of the guy's head is pretty gruesome.
Yeah, I didn't like looking at that.
Yeah. So, if anyone is out there, stay safe, guys. Again, it's really, you might be getting some great photos, but it's really not worth getting a giant hole in the back of your head, unfortunately.
This guy Doug Brown just has a video of cops fucking slamming his ass.
Yes.
They're just slamming him. They're like, get out of here! Get out of here! Like, stop. Why are you pushing people? They're not doing anything. It's not crowd control. It's like cattle herding for them at this point.
It's insane. And all
yeah,
that.
it's absolutely crazy.
I don't. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know what I believe is right and what's wrong, but I get that you can't have the crowd going insane, but I don't know if it's necessary to be assaulting people.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Especially, I mean, it's absolutely not necessary. It's, I mean, there are ways to control crowds without being an asshole, you know?
Yeah. Okay, another heartwarming story that I saw the other day here.
Is this the New Mexico?
No, this
No.
is in
Oh,
Texas.
this is just the facility.
Worker
Okay.
charged with sexually molesting 8 children at an immigrant shelter. 16s, all between 15 and 17, groped through their clothing. This guy's HIV positive. He performed oral sex on 2 teenagers and tried to force one of them to penetrate him anally. What do you think, man? Yeah, this is
What
kind
do
of
you-
in the wrong section, huh? Should be in the next section.
What do you think? Holy shit.
Trump administration officials have repeatedly asserted that the shelters are safe, even a fun place for kids.
Why would
I mean,
they say that? It's just not. It's just not even funny.
yeah, there's not much to say. It's just another layer to what's going on with this immigration stuff and these shelters going on. And yeah, I mean, there's no one protecting these people, and it's obvious. If somebody can go in and be a worker and molest 8 children while they're being detained or kept safe or whatever you want to say, there's something
Right.
definitely wrong with it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what the answer is. Probably shouldn't be separating the families. Maybe just send them back.
Well, yeah.
man.
I mean,
just turn them away. Just turn
put
them
a bunch
away.
of put a bunch of children in a facility with no oversight.
Right.
This is what happens. So
Right.
it's not confusing. It sucks, but
I thought it was Texas. I thought it was Texas. It is Arizona. You're right. Mesa, Arizona. Damn. Our wonderful, beautiful president tweeted at LeBron James. Well, I guess it wasn't at LeBron James, but about LeBron James. LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. Is he talking about Michael Jordan?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's just a racist. I mean, we know this. He anytime it's a black. I mean, they've talked about this on CNN. So this isn't even like a genius thought for me. I'm just anytime he talks about black people, he questions their IQ. That's just what he does.
That's just
He did it with he does it with Maxine Waters. He did it. I mean, I think maybe there's one incidence of doing it with a white person, and I think it was Elizabeth Warren. He questioned that her IQ. He wanted to know what her IQ was. It's like, first of all, I want to know what your IQ is.
and he'll lie.
You dumb piece of shit. I want to see you take a fucking IQ
The
test.
other thing is,
And then
I was saying,
IQ
sorry, go
test.
ahead.
I mean, it's just what he does with black people. He questions their intelligence. Both of them, like Don Lemon. Don Lemon is a great anchor. I don't agree with him all the time. Although I feel like he's continuing to become more and more of a like black pride BLM guy.
yeah.
So I really do. I mean, I think he's like turning a corner over there at CNN. But stupid. I mean, in no way is he stupid.
I just
LeBron James, I don't know. I mean, I like LeBron James now. Before I had no opinion
sure.
on him. So
I just think like it's just such an insane world to where like the president is even tweeting about stuff like why are you,
and it's fine, and we're like, okay,
cool, he
whatever,
did
it's the
it.
president.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like a president just shouldn't have to even bother with like Twitter shouldn't even be a thing, right, for him. And like the fact.
Well, I thought it was telling. Remember when it was like, okay, well, you're president now. You're going to switch over to the official president of the United States Twitter, right? No.
Nope.
Going to continue tweeting under my Donald J. Trump Twitter because I don't really care that I'm the president. I'm just
He doesn't care.
happy to be in power.
Yeah. And he just says,
He doesn't even want to be president.
just-
man. I guarantee it.
just says whatever he wants. I just wanted to bring it up, just call him stupid. Fucking such
Yeah.
an idiot, such an asshole.
He's such an asshole, and he's just projecting so hard on these fucking people.
I did like the
You're the
I did
moron.
like the one tweet about his fake university that he had. So
What do you say?
it was like Donald Trump had that fake university. So
Yeah. No. What was the response tweet that I loved? Because he was watching CNN and somebody, Don Lemon responded. Looks like Melania had the remote tonight, huh?
got him.
Got his
Got
ass.
him.
All you watch is Fox News. We know it. Caught you watching CNN, you moron. Just real quick. Just want to jump on. I don't know if you've been following the Paul Manafort trial. I'm not going to give you a link. There's a bunch. You can look it up. Anybody can look it up if you're watching. Manafort's buddy, partner in crime, Gates, is like opening up on the stand, just like telling all the illegal shit him and Paul Manafort did, and all the illegal shit he did, and how he stole from Paul Manafort, and Paul Manafort didn't know about it. And it's just drama. It's hilarious. And the one thing I wanted to mention is I was questioning as to why Paul Manafort wasn't worried, didn't seem worried. He seemed like he's upset probably that this guy's turned on him, but not like worried that he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life, even though he clearly is. And I read an article. It's like he's looking for the Trump pardon after he gets convicted. And if that happens, I don't know what's going to happen, man.
It'll just prove that it doesn't matter.
Because the reason he's in this trial is because Mueller wanted him to flip on Trump, right? But he wouldn't. So Mueller was like, all right, we're going to put you in jail for the rest of your life. Either you go to jail for the rest of your life or you flip on Trump. That's your options at this point. And he's not doing it. He's holding out for that Trump pardon. And it's like, oh, my. If he pardons him, it's going to be insane.
I mean, is it kind of obvious at that point if he pardons him, though? Or what?
I mean, yeah. I mean, then but he's done so much obvious obstruction of
Yeah,
justice.
so it doesn't matter.
Is that how obvious is that compared to firing Comey?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's as obvious as it
Right.
gets. So I don't know. Anyway, I just think honestly, it's like the insanity is happening right now, and it's been happening for so long, and there's so much other insane shit going on. It's not even like what we barely talk about because it's like,
yeah,
the president's about to either go down or get away with everything. Like really about to happen.
and probably get away with everything.
I mean, if history proves right, yeah, he's gonna get away with it all. So I don't know. Anyway, just wanted to bring that up. All right,
Okay.
what the fuck?
Okay. I got my vid pulled up. Let's
Hey.
should we stop everything first?
Hey,
Let's just
Hold on.
go.
what the fuck?
What the fuck?
It's now time for the section. What the fuck?
Can you tell me what the fuck?
What the fuck
All right.
is that?
got-
Why would they? All
I
right,
found this good one. I don't know if you've.
all right. I'm gonna click this first one. Facebook.
I don't know if you've seen it. Well, I have it pulled up. You just want to watch it right here.
Oh, I'll watch it
Yeah,
on your
that way
screen.
you
Yeah,
can,
that's fine. I'll watch it on your screen. Go
Okay,
ahead.
here we go.
I can't hear it though.
You don't need to hear it. Did you see it?
I saw the title.
Oh, you saw the title? Here, watch. Watch closely. Hiya!
Show me. What? On a bunch of children?
What the fuck? Just a little.
What kind of
Hiya!
pussy do you need to be? What kind of fucking piece of garbage scaredy cat do you need to be to pull a gun on a bunch of children?
Unbelievable.
This is who we hire as police officers.
I don't.
This is who we hire. Great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so he's
They should be
arresting, I guess, one of the kids for something, and the other kids are just talking shit to him. So he gets him to shut up by pointing his good old gun at him. The kids don't back down
That guy should
really
be
though.
fired.
Look at this. Look
Good.
at this.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
What the hell that kid
There you
do?
go. Yeah, take your baton out. Yeah, push the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna do.
hit
They're
some
gonna show it
kids.
again. And let me take my gun out. Oh, look at the kid that.
I know. He's like, don't shoot me.
Unbelievable, dude.
I didn't think cops would shoot me, but they're gonna do it.
I mean, come
Jesus.
on, man. What the fuck?
The world we live in. Everybody's
You
emboldened.
just do whatever. If you got a gun, you just know, dude. You know what you gotta do.
Yeah, you know.
This is a Vice
Oh,
article.
good.
Oh, it's kind of lighthearted. Look at this. Look at this. Oneida Sheriff's Office found this like ad basically.
Oh, nice. The Ku Klux Klan. Come on. What the fuck? You need to rebrand. Nobody sees that. Nobody sees that and goes, that looks good.
I'm in. Thanks for the yellow Snickers bar wrapper. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Appreciate that.
One Snickers bar.
Yeah, sure.
One.
Just one. Just a.
Not even a full size.
mini.
They couldn't even spring for the full size Snickers
It's like a
bar.
Halloween edition, you know. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I didn't even read the
Oh, that's
article. All I
really
did was
good.
look at this. All you have to see is this photo. This.
Ooh, Virginia and South Carolina, they use this tactic as well.
I mean, we can.
Ooh, they once tried to encourage people to come to a Klan rally by giving away free kitty litter.
Oh, I have a kitty.
They probably just had a truck turnover.
Anyway,
Stole it
yeah.
all.
What the fuck? I can't. I mean.
What the fuck? I mean, whatever. Fucking idiots.
Oh,
I hate racists. Racists are so stupid. They're dumb people.
it says you can write as well to their national office.
Yeah, you can go there.
We should go. See what's up.
You want to go?
Yeah, we should. We should totally go.
I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
go. All right. Well, how about this next one? You're going to love this one.
Oh, it's another vid.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and watch this video. Little background. These guys realized this truck was full of Air Force Ones.
This the big trailer truck.
Now, this is in Chicago. This is a good segue because this is in Chicago. South Side.
It's full of
All these
Air
cops.
Force Ones.
Yeah. So the background is they found out after finding this truck that one of the cops' new tactics on the south side of Chicago, get this,
No.
is to drive a truck full of Air Force Ones, park it, start spreading the word that there's Air Force Ones in this truck, and whoever goes to steal the Air Force Ones, they arrest them.
No. You're kidding
This
me.
is what my taxpayer dollars are paying
You're
for.
kidding me.
I am not kidding you, man.
Like fucking cheese on a mousetrap, huh? Fucking Air Force Ones.
That's what we want. We want to fill our fucking prison with dudes who took poor people who saw free Air Force Ones and took them. I'd fucking take
So
them.
there are actual Air Force Ones in the truck.
Yeah, there are Air Force Ones
You
in the
can't
truck.
do that. That is like, what the fuck?
I mean, people are saying maybe it's entrapment, but I think technically entrapment. You have to like actually like hand them, like be like, "Hey, I stole these.
That's
Here, sell them."
basically trap. I mean, that's basically the same
Like
thing.
it's literally a trap. Like I would be surprised if you didn't go in the truck and the door slammed.
Oh my god. There's like they have to go like all the way to the end. They're like sitting like in their
Gotcha,
in their
bitch.
fucking surveillance van, being like, "Ah, here they come. You see them?
Here comes one. Got
Here they
him.
come.
He's hungry for
You
those
know
shoes.
they want
isn't he?
those free shoes. Black people love shoes.
Black people love
Free
shoes.
shoes. Free shoes. Unbelievable.
I just can't. I couldn't believe. Why are they doing this?
What
Chicago.
the fuck, man? That's
Chicago. Get it together. Good God. Anyway.
in front of a basketball court. Dude, that is just pure racism. Like
In front of a basketball court.
shoes in the ghetto. Like what? It's unbelievable.
It's so stupid. Whose
Somebody
idea
was
was
like-
this?
I got it. I fucking got it. I heard these guys like
I want to know. I want to see the guy who saw that and was like,
the guy
"That's a
that
trap,
was
dude.
talking
Don't
was
go."
talking about yelling at the cops, being like, "You fucking put the truck there." That is unbelievable. Chicago, get your shit together, dude. Get your
Yeah,
shit
these
together
cops are.
there.
Dude, here's what happened. They shot Laquan McDonald. The DOJ, when Obama was in charge, was going to investigate them. Trump got elected, canceled the whole investigation, and now the Chicago Police Department is like, it's fucking
Oh,
Christmas.
it's
Nobody cares what we do.
Ah.
Christ almighty. Okay.
Okay. If it seems like we're talking about a lot of bad shit that goes on all the time, it's because we want to bring it to you. And it's not that we love this bad stuff. We actually hate all this bad stuff, but we want to spread the word.
Yeah, obviously.
Because people live in their bubbles too
Yeah,
much, and we need to open our eyes as to what's going on in the world. And I think...
That's a good point, though. I think we can try it. Maybe next time I'll try it. Let's try and
Okay.
focus it on
Yeah,
good
sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
If we can. In this climate right now, it's fucking hard. But if we can find some good stuff, let's do it.
Episode
'cause
5.
I'm down. I'm down
Episode
for a
5 is
happy
gonna be
episode.
The happy episode. Okay, guys?
We'll call it that. We'll name it
Episode
the happy
5.
episode.
You can count on us.
God, I'm crying from laughing.
I gotta
from that
say,
last one.
your two
It's
video,
just-
that one and last week's video of the workers leaving, those again, black people are hilarious and they get me every time. I mean, there's just
Oh, that worker video is really good. We should actually post that as a separate clip because that was funny. That was your reaction to it
love
was
it.
really good.
all right.
All right.
And for people that watch or have been watching or know us or anything, Mike lives in Chicago, and I think Chicago one of the most dangerous cities in the United States, in the world, or
No. The stat that we get, the stat that we can claim, not even highest
Okay.
murder rate per capita, because we have a lot of people. I think St. Louis is above us, and Detroit, just because there's so few people and they also have a lot of murders. It's the most shootings, straight up,
Just guns?
most shootings
Just
of any city.
got guns.
Just guns, shooting people. We can beat you. We got you. We got guns, shooting people more than anyone else in
Okay.
the country. So, yeah. So that's the one thing. And people will go like highest murder rate, not the case, things like that. But we do definitely have the most bullets hitting people.
Bullets are flying in
the country,
Chicago,
so.
and have
Yeah, on the south side and the west side,
And
which we'll
have
talk
been.
about in the main topic. But
Have
on the
been.
south side and the west side. Yeah. Are we skipping the photo? Go
yeah.
straight to the main
I
topic,
thought photo
or-
was after into Fuji Corner.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, cool.
You want me to pull up the first?
Okay,
article?
so let's. Well, yeah, let's start with a primer here. I'm just gonna do like 2 sentences here. Chicago is also questionably the most segregated city in the country. Milwaukee sometimes tries to claim it too. We'll fight over it, but it is very segregated, which goes back to the beginnings of Chicago. Chicago was built, and New York too. I mean, these big cities were built around the idea that these communities wanted to live near each other. New York has kind of grown out of that a little bit. I mean, they still have a little bit of those pockets of ethnic pockets, but and cultural pockets. But Chicago did not grow out of it at all. And we're going to talk about. I really just want to talk about why, and how this leads to the reason that we have the most shootings. It's a set of things. But first, let's talk about why most people think we have the most shootings. Yeah. Let's first go to that third article, NBC News. And the chief said, and this is telling the chief of patrol, which is Fred Waller, who I don't know what he is, but they're talking about how the problem, and the reason people are getting shot in Chicago, and the reason we had such a bad weekend, and what was the bad weekend?
The
Do you have
right
the number
here
there? 70 wounded and 11 people dead in one weekend, which is insane. I mean, that's wild. The reason is because
of
gangs
gangs
are shooting into crowds.
shooting into crowds.
That's the reason. Now, that might be what happened, but that's I mean, there's clearly a problem with just blaming the gangs and saying, well, what we got to do is deal with the gangs, right? To me, that's like saying there's a lot of murders and the problem is murderers.
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah. But why do we have so many murderers? That's the problem. The problem isn't just there's murderers and we got to do something about it. There's more of a problem. So that's what I can't believe this is still the rhetoric. That's my thing. Eddie Johnson is the superintendent. Chicago police superintendent. I just can't believe that this is still the rhetoric. It's just, well, we got a lot of gangs and we're going to do something about the gangs, I guess.
We got gangs here.
To add a little bit of background too, this year, Chicago has put more cops on the South Side to try and deal with this violence. They said we're going to hire a bunch of new cops and put a large portion of them on the South Side and patrol and try to quell this problem, and it's clearly working. So.
Yeah, let's put more white people dressed in cop uniforms into the gang territory where they are.
Where they don't trust you.
you.
I mean, and the civilians don't trust you either. So you're not getting help anywhere.
Now what are you doing?
Why would you?
Okay, so the question is, guys, why are there gangs? Why are there so many gangs?
That's a good question, J-Ro. And I'm going to start this too. I am not by any means the scholar on Chicago violence, and it is a lot more, I will admit, way more complicated than just what I'm pointing at. But to ignore the things that I'm about to bring up is willfully ignorant. You just are. It's racial. It's very racial, and it's willfully ignorant to just be like, black people like to be in gangs and like to shoot each other, and we just gotta arrest a lot of them. Like, it's just not solving the problem. First of all, it's not solving the problem, right? I mean, even if you wanted to convince somebody that was the case, we're already doing that. We're arresting record numbers of black people that are in gangs. Hasn't solved the problem.
Wonder why.
It's not doing anything. Right. Okay. So let's go to that first one. Let's go back to the
Chicago
beginning. Right? Let's do a little history lesson here. So this is bringing up a thing called redlining. How redlining segregated Chicago and America. This happened all over America and Chicago. Chicago significantly. But what it boils down to, there's a lot going on with this redlining thing, but what it boils down to is a mixture between what happened back in between the 30s and the 70s, which is called white flight. And there's also an Atlantic article that they post here by Tanahashi Coates, who is amazing. But white flight was this thing that happened in that period where white people did not like living in cities with black people because they're racist. And to be clear, Chicago was not nearly as violent back then as it is today. And any of the violence was done by mobsters and gangsters, not black people. So the majority of the violence. So, but white flight was a purely racist, I don't want to be in a neighborhood with people that are black, and they left the cities. Mm-hmm. This was a problem because businesses were very reliant on people living in the city. Cities were hubs, and for all white people to move out to the suburbs creates a strain on the ability. Now you have to have people commuting in. Now you have to build that infrastructure. Whereas you had it before, where you had this infrastructure, you had this group of people who wanted to work and live in the city. So this was a problem. So banks started to do a thing called redlining. Redlining is literally picking blocks where majority black people live, as it shows in the map up here, circling them, and artificially lowering their home value in the books.
Just straight up.
That block is lower value. And you make up a bunch of reasons. You're near you're not that close to the train here. And then you've also got, or whatever the reasons that they come up with. But the banks literally pick these blocks out purely racially. And the whole article goes into it, circled them, and said, that one's now worth less. This is just another bump in the road that they were on from slavery, which is they started as the bottom class in the United States. They were brought here, put on the bottom, given freedom, and had to work their way up from the bottom, and are still. And this was just another bump in that road, just another way to keep them down, because you need a lower class, you need a bottom class to pit the poor people, the white people against. So anyway, isn't redlining insane?
It's crazy. So
when I learned about it, I couldn't believe it's something that actually happened. It's just it seems so blatant.
Did all the big cities do that? I wonder if
I don't know. I mean,
or
Milwaukee was a huge one where they did it. Atlanta.
Yeah, you never really hear, like, Chicago's, you always hear about their gang violence there.
Yeah. I mean, New York definitely has gangs, and DC's got a huge gang problem. DC, I wonder if DC probably was one of the cities.
I'm sure.
But redlining is just this totally artificial, completely racially motivated way of just putting all the black people in one area and getting all the white people to be able to live in another by themselves. And it is clear if you look at these maps and then you look at what's going where the black people live today in Chicago, it is just so obvious.
Yeah,
what has
it's still
it's the same lines.
It's worked its way all the way till now, regardless of how long
yeah. And the areas have gotten poorer because of underfunding, which we'll talk about in a second.
Sure.
And the other areas have gotten richer. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
Really,
it sounds like a long game, which is like, when you say it like that, it has definitely worked in their favor at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they knew it would work so well.
I'm sure somebody's going, man, good thing we did that redlining thing.
What a great idea.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, except for now, if you go anywhere near these neighborhoods, you're worried for your life because you've created a situation where they have nothing else but to shoot people. So it's kind of backfiring. But, I mean, I would say it's backfiring. I think there's a lot of people, racist, sick people, but I've heard this say, well, they're shooting each other, so
it's all good.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Which is just fucked up and insane.
It's because of the light they've painted on these, you know what I mean? And like, when you think of gangs, you're just like, all right, gangs are they're terrible, obviously, but it's another one of those things where it's like, oh, they want to be in gangs. Right.
And who are these people in these gangs? Sick thugs.
Yeah,
they're just kids. They're just fucking kids who had nothing else to do. That's another article we'll get to. But let's go to the next one. This is another prong in the fork of the problem here. A lot of school systems are funded with the property taxes in that community. So if you think about children going to school, in my head, it should be the one way that community has to get out and to rise above this problem, because the children are getting a good education. They have good after school programs. They can get out of it. And that's like the rhetoric that even right wingers, he's a good, he's a good black person because he isn't in a gang and he got out of it and learned something. But you're not giving them the ability to. And it says here, case in point, wealthy Winnetka spends at least $7,000 more per pupil than schools on the south side
per child.
$7,000 per child more. That kid's going. Look, in that picture says it all right there. That kid's got everything he's ever going to want, and these kids on the south side have to work with old books. They have shitty schools with no air conditioning. They have no after school programs, which I'm going to say I think is one of the biggest problems. And this was on purpose. This was the white people wanted their schools to be good, and they wanted their property taxes to go to only their schools. And so then this is what you get.
So does that have to do with redlining as well, like you brought up? So if the income in the redlining areas are lower and the housing is cheaper,
basically, yeah, it's like the black communities are the poor communities. And so their property taxes are significantly less, but it's the same amount of children. So it's just less money being put into the schools in their neighborhood, which is the only way out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The kids getting an education and having things to do and learning and going to after school programs is the only way out of poverty at this point. We're not giving them any other way. We don't have a social program that really gets them out of it. It keeps them alive sometimes, but it does not get them out of it. This is the way. Children should be agnostic to income, right? They should just all get the same. Every child should get the same exact education. At least I believe.
No, I believe that too.
I think anybody with a brain does, right? So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
that's the problem. And then you have no after school programs, and then that brings us to, if you have a question about this, go ahead.
No, I just think I think it does play a part, like you said, and not to say that I'm not generalizing a population, but a lot of these families, these poor communities, are single parents too.
You're not generalizing. It is statistically true. A lot of them are. And so without stuff for them to do all day, they just take care of themselves at home.
What are you supposed to do?
Right.
I grew up that way. My mom was fucking working all the time, and I got to do whatever I wanted.
You were in a great school system, so
right.
So you had plenty of stuff to do. You had plenty. It wasn't a bad area either, but you could see how you just like get home. Nobody's home, so you're just like, nah, I'll go fuck off with my friends.
Yeah.
Do whatever all day.
And the other thing too, I think you say about like escaping, like, you shouldn't have to pay to escape, right? You can send your kid to a private school, but like,
no. And if we were to believe the right wing's version of the American dream, they should believe in it. A child should have the same education and advantages as another, no matter skin color or income.
No matter what.
No matter what. And it's just not the case. It's not actually what they believe. Yeah. The American dream is for white people who have money. And if you happen to beat the system and become a black person who gets a good education and gets money out of a poor family, well, great job. You did it. And we'll let you be in this.
Congratulations.
Or you're good at basketball.
Welcome.
Are you good at basketball? Because if you're not good at basketball, that's why you see all these kids on basketball courts. They see the only way to get the fuck out is to be good at basketball.
Rappers say that all the time. They're like basketball, rapping,
and rap music, right? It's just, it's
unbelievable,
unfortunate, but it's true. So the last thing, I guess, to tie it all up, is this. Which article is it? This New York Times article.
This one? Chicago gang violence.
I really love. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this photo is amazing.
And then there's that last one, too, the Tribune one. But the photo is really good, actually. We should talk about this photo. But I love this title. And I actually just skimmed the article because, I was reading a lot of other ones. And it's sort of just... It does a big overarching idea of it, but bored, broke, and armed. is it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it is.
What else would you do? You have no money. You have no way to spend your time that's not playing basketball. And there's guns flooding your neighborhood just everywhere. Of course you're going to join a gang.
Yeah, your best friend's in the gang.
Everybody's in a gang. And the gang says you have to join us or we're going to fucking shoot you.
Right.
So join us.
You better join
Okay,
us.
I guess I'll join you. I'm just doing nothing all day. So yeah, I can't run away from these kids. I have no place to hide from the gangs.
Sure.
If you had after school programs where kids could stay at school and work, and then the school doesn't allow gangs in the school, they don't get threatened and they don't get recruited. Mm-hmm. It just seems so obvious to me, and I think it would take a lot of money, and I think that unfortunately would cause a pushback from the richer communities because they wouldn't want their money being poured into the South Side. But I think if we want to live in a community, where we aren't afraid of our fellow people outside and afraid of certain parts of the neighborhood, and that those parts might seep into our parts, because shit, that happens all. I mean, it just gets so racist on these neighborhood forums. Like, this black guy was soliciting some sort of. I mean, I think he was just soliciting for money, but going door to door. This one woman posts, "Black man checking doorknobs to see if they're open and knocking on doors, and who knows what he's up to." And it's like,
Okay.
he's just asking for money. He's like selling newspapers. Like,
Right. Yeah, candy bars or something.
so insane.
If anyone's wondering, I mean, really, if you just look into anything about gang members, man, these are just lost children. I mean, that's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. That's the thing that people don't connect.
Let's
Is
get it
they
together.
think of them as adults.
They're not adults.
They're not
kids.
adults. They're
They don't
children.
know what's going on. They
They're
have no-
babies. They're
babies.
They're babies, and they're shooting babies. That's all they are.
And they
But
they live in the air. They live in this world, so you can't, like you just said, you can't get away from it. Everyone knows everybody. You know, you have to be
That's-
part of this community that you've been put into, or else you're the outcast. You're not going to survive.
Right. That's the mindset, though, is that these like right wingers, and I'm generalizing right wingers. Maybe there's some Democratic left wingers too, but
I'm sure.
This mindset that like it's happening outside, and I just need to block myself away from it. So I need to get a security system, and I need to put up a fence, and I need to get video cameras, and buy a gun and have a gun so that I can protect myself. And it's like, why do you want to live a life like that?
Sure.
Rather than pick up the people around you, get them to where they're happy, where they're happy to be in their community. They don't need to be rich. I'm not saying let's make them all rich. Let's just make them not poor, broke, poor, bored, and armed. Let's take that away and give them better things to do. They don't want to do that stuff. And then we all are living in a society where we're not worried about a black guy in our neighborhood because our neighborhood's all white and there's one black guy and he's probably trying to rob me. It's like that's the thing I don't understand. People would prefer to buy a security system and walk from their house to their car so that they don't have to walk outside too long at night, or park in their garage, or not take the bus. And like, why wouldn't you want to live among people who are just happy to be alive and happy to have good stuff and happy to be in the society?
I think because I think it's just the mentality, like you said, of just being like, oh, these people want to be violent. They want to be
criminals.
They want to murder
Right,
people.
right.
And it's
like,
again,
no, they
it's
don't.
not. Yeah, it's not.
It's like
not true at all.
Haitians want to be in America. It's like, no, they don't. They want to be home.
Yeah, right.
These people want to be home, and they want to be doing good, happy things. They don't want to be shooting people. Nobody wants to be psychopaths. Serial killers want to be shooting people.
Right.
That's it.
And like we talked about too, it's like it's a circle, right? So like,
Yeah.
you grow up there, you get old there, you impregnate your girlfriend. Your girlfriend has another kid. They can't pay for that kid. He grows up bored, broke. He joins a gang. His best friend gets killed. He's sad, and then he's killing. And it's just,
Right.
Over
It
and
turns
over
it turns
and
into a
over
game.
and
If you want to
over
break
and
the
over.
cycle, you gotta bust out of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that requires some special thing where you can send your kid to a North Side school in Chicago or a private school, or you get lucked into a lottery of one of these fucking charter schools.
Ooh, I got in.
Oh, I lucked
get it.
in, and finally my
God.
kid is not going to be a gang member. It's like, or they could all not be gang members if we just funded the schools properly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or they go to these nice schools, and then on their way to the school, they get shot by a gang member because the school's in a bad area.
Right.
There's no way out. There's no fucking way out. And there's plenty of movies and things about this kind of thing, but I just really think that it's funny that this is it seems so clear to me, and
It is clear.
and people and then there's that article, just that fucking article where it's like, it's the gangs.
It's the gangs.
We got to get rid of the gangs.
You know how
Well,
those
great.
gangbangers are?
Yeah, they just love it. They love shooting everybody. So
They love seeing their friends get killed and fucking have to fucking
Right.
pull the bodies off the street and hear bullets
Right.
flying and fucking looking at it's
They take look at this quote right under that article, that Chicago 5 article. The
first
quote
one?
is well, it's actually the fourth link. I should have put it first, but it's the third link. NBC Chicago. This quote right under the headline, if you go up to the top.
They take advantage of the opportunity and they shoot into a crowd no matter who they hit.
They take advantage of the opportunity. Like
Advantage.
they love it. They're just looking for I can shoot a bunch of people. It's like, just stop this shit. Stop this rhetoric. It's so annoying. And the last thing I want to say is a small thing, but people talk about, Trump himself said Chicago's got the strongest gun laws in the country, and look at them, they still have a problem. And it's like, that is the most, you have not even thought about it for half a second. All of the guns in all of these gangs, 90% are from fucking Indiana. You know why? Because in Indiana, if you are a private seller, you can sell guns and not require a background check. You don't even require a receipt with a name on it. You can literally sell your guns for cash to a person. I don't even have to get his name.
That's insane.
It's insane. And then they go, how do we have all these guns?
What's with all the guns?
What are you
Why would
talking
you-
about? How do we have all these guns? It's so
Why
easy.
would you give these gangbangers guns? You know they want to kill people, right? Why would you?
It's just so insane. It's so insane that people act like this is a fucking. And then there's this last editorial, which is a Chicago Tribune article. Why is there so much shooting and killing in Chicago? And it does a pretty good job of explaining everything I kind of talked about in sort of a quick article. So that's great. And I'm glad they did this article, because the Tribune is sometimes sort of part of this problem of this rhetoric that they put out. So, it's good they're doing this kind of stuff. But the thing I wanted to mention was there's even a part in here which I really fucking hate the word thugs. I hate the word thugs because it is black. You're just saying black,
Yeah.
and you don't want to say black.
Yes.
And I hate it.
The guy writing the article was like going up to the editor. Hey, so I want to use a word for like these black gang members. You got any good ideas?
Thugs.
Ah, that's the one I was. I
forgot.
knew I could
Forgot
count
about
on you.
thugs.
Thugs.
Forgot
thugs,
about
thugs.
thugs. You're doing
One of my
good work.
favorite-
You're doing
It's one
good
of my
work,
favorite
man.
words. One of my favorite words.
Yeah, it's like perhaps 5,000 to 10,000 thugs and drug dealers.
Thugs.
Just replace that with blacks. That's what you're saying. What does thugs mean? That means nothing. What is the word? Okay, drug dealers? I know what that means. That means a person who deals drugs. What the fuck does thugs mean?
Let's do a definition.
It means black person.
Oh, a violent person.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I have to see them like punching people?
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, here we go. You want the historical definition?
Yeah, let's hear it.
A member of a religious organization of robbers and assassins in India.
Ooh, the brown. Back to the brown. It all comes back around to the brown.
It goes around. What comes around goes around.
Yeah, it's insane. I really hate it. You see people on these like again. I'm on this like neighborhood thing. What is it called? Next door.
Okay.
And
just people talking about.
I saw a thug in the neighborhood the other day.
I saw a thug.
I saw a thug. You saw a black person.
Okay, guys, you can't use the word thug for a black person. That doesn't.
Just say black person. If you go, I saw a black person trying to steal something, you can say black person. That's how we identify the person.
No, but thug is really.
If you're just saying I saw a person, you don't want to say I saw a black person because then you're racist. So you say I saw a thug. I'm like, oh well, what did he have, like a gun in his hand or a baseball bat? Was he hitting property with the baseball bat? Because otherwise he was just a black person.
No, I read in the Tribune they call them thugs. So just
anyway.
Either way,
I hope I changed somebody's mind on Chicago with this rant of mine.
Yeah. It's a good thing to talk about. Again, it's the same story that we preach everywhere, and literally it's just about learning who these people are and knowing that people are meant to be as happy as yourself, regardless of their situation. So,
yeah.
If you want to maybe donate to a thug in Chicago, maybe there won't be any more gang shootings. But
yeah, and you know what? Even if you believe that the guy who's in the gang is a gang member and loves being a gang member and loves dealing drugs and loves shooting kids, what if he has a kid? Do you think that that's hereditary, or do you believe that his child should be given the opportunity to go to school and learn and be in school after school and get hobbies and gain knowledge about what he loves and what he doesn't, so that he can not be a gang member? Wouldn't that be better than just his dad turning his son into a gang member? I mean,
probably
right?
not.
Wouldn't that be better? Unless you believe that being black and being a thug is hereditary, and everyone who's black is going to be a thug because that's their nature, which some people do.
Born a thug, always a thug, dude.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
All right.
Poor black people.
Good work. Chicago's such a great city.
It is an amazing city, and it's got
really
amazing
is.
people. And in spite of all these problems, we love it, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah,
God damn it.
It's a good city.
Let's go.
Okay, everyone's favorite part. It's a Fuji corner.
Welcome to Fuji Corner.
Fuji. Apparently, I'm allowed to do the mimicking of the Asian person because I myself am Asian. The mic gave me.
Do it. Can you do it?
Is it the Fuji film?
Am I allowed to laugh at it? Because I fucking love it.
If you guys hate it and think it's racist, tell me. Okay, we won't do it ever again. That'll be the last time you ever hear it.
That's not true.
Okay, that's not true. First thing, October 7th, Fujifilm announces Fuji Fest. The second one. In Venice.
Yeah, we're gonna
down the
so
street.
we're gonna enter.
Down the
so
street.
we're gonna enter, right?
What do you mean by enter? Like go?
Can you enter? Can you Can you put can you submit?
Submit to go?
It's a Fuji Film Fest.
No, okay. It's a Fuji Film Festival and it's workshops and it costs $500 for a ticket.
It's not a film
fest.
festival.
It's not a film fest. It's a Fuji Film conference.
I should have read this before we started talking about it.
Either way, I wish I could go. It's down the street. Maybe I'll try to sneak in or something. But $500 Fujifilm? Come on.
You should do it. You should go. You should see if they'll let you go for free. See if you can get a free pass.
Get a free pass? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna give me a free pass, huh?
Yeah, you just gotta say the Fujifilm.
I'm here. This is the Fujifilm. And they're like, oh, you.
They're like, oh,
free pass.
Perfect.
Free
Come on
pass.
in. Yeah.
Anyway, if anyone
Right.
wants to go, sounds kind of cool. Best Fujifilm people will be talking. They're doing like some photo walk of some kind. They also have some. You get
hors d'oeuvres and cocktail.
Yeah, you get a goodie bag, which is kind of sick. I wonder what's inside the goodie bag.
Is it a GFX?
Well, they also have like something where you can like swap, like borrow lenses and cameras for the day, so you could like walk around with
nice.
the GFX all day long.
That would be incredible,
But
actually.
pretty cool. 450. There's only 150 spaces available, so
I mean, that could be really cool if you were like
rich. Yeah,
rich.
rich. Yeah, it would be awesome. It's down the street. I mean, maybe I could go. We'll see. $500. It's kind of expensive, but
Maybe we'll go
maybe
later
we'll go
next year.
next year.
All right.
And I know it's called the Fuji Corner, but today we're going to talk shit about Sony
Whoa. We're
Entertainment?
just going to talk about Sony.
We're gonna talk about Sony Entertainment.
However that comes out.
All right.
And I think it's going to turn into like comparing it to Fuji for sure. But yeah, let's talk about Sony.
I have to say,
Let's start with, what do you like about Sony?
Okay, I will say the greatest invention Sony has ever made was the Sony PlayStation, hands down. No matter what they make from here on out, Sony PlayStation Entertainment System, that was one of the greatest inventions of all time.
They also, but then they went, you know what? We did that so well. And we also make all these, what do they make? TVs?
Appliances.
Appliances? What does Sony make? Let's look. Sony products. Here we go.
I have used a Sony one time for a project. It was the A7S II. I have to say I enjoyed it. It was fine. I don't particularly like the design of their cameras.
Well, yeah. So they look. Pull up the A7S II.
Yeah.
Go ahead. They look too fragile. First of all, they look like something you would want to use indoors. You know what I mean? Like an electronic, like
Yeah, it looks like an electronic device. It doesn't
Right,
look
like
like
a
a camera to me.
like a thing you would use in your living room with the PlayStation.
You're like,
Like
you're using the-
you would use it as a controller with the PlayStation, and it had like it just looks. It's got that smooth like electronics look, not like a tool, like a, you know.
It does it to me. I think I wonder, like, did they purposely create this mirrorless camera for video to kind of take over that deal? Like, do they even care about photography, do you think? Because
The R was first,
yeah, the R was first, but
and
nobody
that wasn't video focused.
nobody
right?
migrated to Sony for photography, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of photographers that do.
Is there?
I don't know.
All photographers.
I can't say.
I think all photographers, most, not all, okay, obviously not all. I think most photographers are still on the DSLR train because those are just workhorses and they've been around for so long. It's hard to give up the ergonomics and the way DSLRs work for something that's like, a camera, like, especially when these mirrorless first came out, like they're still kind of, they're still kind of slow. They're definitely slower than a SLR.
Are they? You think so for photos?
Yeah.
Unless if you're using an electronic shutter, they're not, right?
They're not like slow in that sense, just like usability wise. I think they just, like I think the Fuji, like with the dials and everything, it is slower. I would agree that it is a little bit slower, only because like.
But you can map all that stuff.
I know. Well, you owned a Sony. Why did you switch to Sony when you had the 5D?
I explained this the last time a little bit, but why did I switch to Sony? I didn't explain that. So the 5D, they didn't have the articulating screen, which is, straight up the worst.
You have to have that articulating.
As a videographer, I can't use it. It's unusable. Without the rotating screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what are you gonna hold the camera up to your face like?
I get a shot on the ground and I can't see what the fuck. I have to put my head on the ground. What if I'm in a parking lot? Like, I don't want to put my head on the concrete. It's so stupid. Anyway, like that's just dumb. That's just dumb on Canon's part. Canon, I think, realizes maybe they came out with two more cameras that still didn't have that. So I don't know.
We'll see what they're
But that was the main reason. And then I was just looking for what's the best.
at the time.
Oh, and mirrorless was awesome because I really wanted to
Adapt.
I wanted to use vintage lenses. I was already using them with the 5D. Vintage lenses are cheaper. I wanted manual lenses anyway because I'm shooting video. So I was like, and I was looking at, and Sony was coming out with some of the best cameras at the time for video. The A7S, the first one, was what I got, and it was definitely an upgrade, but has its problems.
Yeah, I think the project I used the Sony on, it was only because it was like the one camera that had slow mo, like real true slow mo,
yeah.
and we
Right.
really needed the slow mo for this project. But I don't know. I just don't get the how they've obtained such a huge fanboy community in terms of Sony, just due to their specs. In general.
I think because people like specs, and this is something that I was going to get into a little bit, but people like tech specs. It's these tech heads. It's the same thing like why everybody's getting into drones now. They're not doing it because they're videographers. They're doing it because they like technology.
Sure.
And I think that they just pack the fucking Sony full of technology.
It does have
which
a
is
lot
true.
of technology. I would agree with that.
Right. So it's not. I think I get it. It looks too clinical for me though. Like the and maybe people like that, but like the photos and stuff look too clinical. They don't have any. They don't have the kind of character that that even a 5D has. I mean, if I'm looking
Sure.
at a 5D and a Fuji, I mean they have character.
Sure.
A Nikon, they have character. I feel like the Sony's got like a clinical, like if you were doing medical photos, this would be great because they it's like just harsh edges and like
it's like a robot.
weirdly sharp colors.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've never.
And S-Log was a nightmare. I tried to use S-Log for so long, and it's just so stupid. It sucks.
Yeah, you've talked about your qualms with S-Log.
Yeah.
I think too. I think Sony. I think one of the big reasons why they have gained such a. I think they kind of hit the price point on the head too for what they're offering.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Fuji is a little bit cheaper, but they're crop sensors. So if people are looking for full frame, I mean, for $2,000, like it's hard to be like. It's hard to, you know, a 5D is $4,000.
But let me just right now address full frame, and they keep going for full frame. And here's the problem: if you're doing it for photo, all right, I get it. Like you want that look. You can talk more to that maybe. For video, full frame is not what video was meant to be shot on at all.
I get that was my biggest fear from going away from my full frame was the full frame look. I think I've just changed as a photographer and how I want my pictures to look. I used to always want the background to be just absolutely destroyed. And I knew the only way to get that was with full frame. And, you know, for portraits, if you're doing portraiture, I get it. You know, you don't really care that much. You know, it's all about the person. But moving to photojournalism, which is one of actually the big reasons why I switched to Fuji, was because I knew I was going to kind of go in this direction. And I don't find myself shooting wide open nearly, not even close to as much as I used to. Like when I had a full frame, I would always shoot open, like every photo, no matter what. I wouldn't even change the aperture. Now for me, I like the look of having details like throughout the image. But yeah, I don't know. I get that you want that look and you want that, but still, for me, an image isn't made by how blurry the background is. I'm sorry. You can make it as blurry as you want. If it's a good image, it doesn't matter if the background's blurred out or not. Heating up. Oh, I also think as far as like crop sensor versus the full frame, just size. The Sony lenses are gigantic because they're full frame lenses.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a lot of glass. You have to make a 1.4 lens. That's gonna be big.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I
It's
mean, they
gonna
did it
be
with the
big.
16. Fuji did, and it's not that big. So
Yeah, well, but it still only has to cover a crop sensor. You know, if it had to
Right.
cover a full frame, it'd probably be almost twice the
right.
size.
I mean, look at these guys though.
Yeah,
These little boys.
those are amazing.
I'm excited to get the 16. I think I'm gonna hold out for that. I think that'll
Just
be.
wait to see how much it
I
is.
think that'll be a perfect connection to these guys.
Those things are so amazingly
this out.
small. You look good like that.
Do
You look like a thug.
I? No, but it's like you need like I want to be able to travel. That was one of the biggest things too, moving to Sony, and now Fuji. So Sony, I didn't buy a single Sony lens. I had the kit lens, and then I just had
You didn't buy a G Master?
didn't buy one.
One G Master lens?
Nope.
Have you seen the G Master 85?
No.
This fucking thing is Sony G Master 85.
It's so big. It's like
I mean-
that's gigantic.
Look at that
It
thing.
doesn't need to be that big. Oh my god, that should be a zoom lens. How is that?
Nobody-
How is that not a zoom lens?
Nobody talks about lens size when they're talking about mirrorless
Yeah.
and traveling with your kit.
Yeah,
Nobody ever talks about it. Everyone says, "Oh, well, the bodies are the same weight, blah blah blah. You're not losing that much weight." But you're like,
What about the lenses?
any difference is a lot. First of all,
Right.
when you're talking, things that are only 3 pounds, and then yes, all this glass. Look at that.
Right.
Look at it next to a 135 on a 5D. It's just as big.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get Sony's got it going on. I can't hate on them too much because they obviously have a big following, but I will never shoot one. I will never buy one.
Well, what are you getting? So let's point out what are you getting with the Sony that you're not getting with the Fuji?
Okay. Full frame sensor.
Full frame sensor. So we've already talked about that's illegitimate if you shoot photos and you really want that look.
I want that full frame.
But you like the crop now, so
Yeah.
it's not
It makes no difference to me now.
it's not
now that
insurmountable, and it doesn't make a difference.
Now, it's been a year. I've given photos to clients. I've worked professionally. No one ever says, "Hey,
That's not full
the
frame.
background. That background wasn't that blurry in that one.
Why isn't that full frame?
It wasn't that blurry
Yeah,
though."
yeah. And well, because there's nuance now. You don't want to bomb. You already spoke about this, but you don't want to bomb the background out.
Right.
Especially with video,
yeah.
I can't bomb the background out
Yeah.
because if I do,
Yeah.
I'll never keep the goddamn video in focus. So, yeah, I mean,
God, look at that thing.
clearly, we both do better off not throwing the background completely out of focus. I mean, sometimes you want to, but and so the full frame is the one, and then what's the? I mean, the other thing, really, all you're really getting, let's be honest, is shooting at night.
Low light.
That's it. Low light shooting.
I don't know. I got some pretty good low light on my Fuji.
Sure. But
But
I mean, people
Okay.
will argue that. People will say
Okay,
you can shoot
hold on,
at
hold on.
night.
we've talked about this before as well.
Yeah.
Just because a camera can go to 1 billion ISO doesn't mean you shoot the camera at 1 billion ISO.
Yeah, right. And that was something
Okay.
that I found when I got it. I got the camera and I was like, I can shoot at night with this motherfucking thing. And what did I do immediately? I went camping and shot a bunch of footage
I
in
can't
front of the
wait.
fire. And
Yeah.
I shot a bunch of footage in front of the I mean, look at that. That looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I shot a bunch of footage in front of the fire, and I shot a bunch of footage of stars. Like, I remember they said you could shoot the stars. And it's like, that was the last time I did that.
Yeah, because a video person isn't shooting in complete darkness.
Why would I, unless I'm spying on somebody for, like,
Why
as, like, a
would
PI?
you?
Or if I'm, like, shooting animals. Maybe if you're shooting nocturnal animals, buy a Sony.
Maybe.
You shooting possums? You have some sort of possum blog? Yeah. Get a Sony.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to need it because you got to shoot at night. You got to shoot in complete darkness.
What else, though? What else are you getting?
I don't think there's anything else. I can't think.
What about the A9, dude? What about the A9?
Yeah, okay, well, that's a different price point. That's a completely different price point.
Yeah, what about the speed, dude? A9 frame speed. How many frames you get?
How much is an A9?
I think it's $4,000.
What do you like? Why would anybody compare those two?
Oh, $4,100. Look, you can get the shoot. Look, you couldn't get that with any other camera, dude.
No, and they talk about the AF points. I guess that guy in that review that we were talking about, he's talking about the AF points, and even in the A7 III they have more. Because what I didn't know is the AF points if you shoot the high burst on the H1, you don't get as many AF points to the edge. Is that true?
I don't know. Boo.
Do you use the high burst?
No.
Who does?
I never turned my camera to. It would be pointless. I get like 13. Why would I?
Unless you're trying to catch Ava catching a ball or something.
Even then, you don't need 13. If I want every frame.
Yeah. The medium burst, you get all of them. So.
You get all of them. So okay, so 20 frames. Okay, so you get 20 frames.
You get 20 frames, and you get all your AF points
per second
for every frame. Great. Good job. If you need that. But what are you losing? So now we've gotten what you get out of the A7.
Is that all you get? Hold on.
Oh, is there more? Is there more?
I don't know.
Video-wise, what's their slow-mo? Their slow-mo is the same. 120 at 1080.
Okay. The video is caught up. Everyone's caught up.
The H1's doing the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're getting anything else. Can you think of anything?
No.
Okay, great. So we've covered what you get with the Sony. And if you guys can think of anything else, hit us up. Maybe we're wrong. I can't think of one. I can't think of anything else. I own one. I can't think of another thing, especially for video.
How about this 100 millimeter?
Like a burrito.
Chipotle.
It's a Chipotle burrito.
We have copied the size of a Chipotle burrito to create our G Master 100 millimeter.
Okay, so what do you get? What do you get with the Fuji? What do you get with the Fujifilm?
With the Fuji?
Yeah, what do you get with the Fuji?
I mean, I can list a laundry of things that I love about it. We'll start with just in-camera JPEGs.
They're amazing.
Boom.
These film simulations and in-camera JPEGs look incredible. Can't say that about the Can't say that about the Sony. I know. I shot JPEGs on the Sony.
I can't. It has changed my life in various ways that I can't even. I've gained life back.
In the similar video version of that, Eterna is built-in amazing color. It just looks cinematic. I'm shooting on it right now, and
boom,
mwah,
boom,
mwah. So that's one thing. Another thing, you're getting more lenses, you're getting cheaper lenses, and you're getting smaller lenses. So this should be enough to sell anybody, I think.
Cheap, small, and they have every lens now.
Cheap, small,
officially,
and every fucking lens you could want. So.
And when we say cheap, I mean I'm talking dirt cheap. Like, I can't even believe I spent like $2,000 on a lens.
$2,050.
Yeah,
This is a 35 millimeter f2. It's got autofocus. Where's that f2?
It's weather sealed.
It's weather sealed. I can take this thing. We were out in Mexico. I had the 24 on. I didn't have to worry about it. I was in the rural Mexico. It was dusty as hell. There was a pig eating trash, and I didn't have to worry about any of that shit because it was weather sealed. It drizzled the other day. I was out with the camera. Don't care.
It's fine.
Doesn't matter.
It's fine.
The camera's weather sealed. Boom. Sony
A7
III is not weather sealed.
It's not?
Look it up. I might be wrong. Sony
The 3 might be. The new one's gotta be now.
Weather sealed.
Ours gotta be weather sealed. And listen, guys, we're comparing this to Sony's full frame lineup. And if you want to be like honest about it,
oh, not weather sealed. They said this is what they claimed. weather sealed design.
Okay.
You know what that means? And the guy breaks it down. It means it's okay if you get a little bit of water on the top, but if you get any water around where the lens is connected or at the bottom of the plate,
You're done.
it goes right in. But on the top, you're okay.
Well, that's huge. I didn't know that. That's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
That's bad. They finally gave the Sony's dual card slots. Okay, we had that for a little bit.
The Sony only has one UHS 2 card slot. The other card slot is UHS 1.
Does the H1 have two of those?
Has two UHS 2 slots.
Oh, that's nice.
Mine is. I forgot. The thing you do get
same.
with the Sony is you can record to both slots simultaneously, but don't
Okay,
record.
so back up.
Don't record 4K because it can't do it. Because the UHS 1 slot can't record 4K.
Okay.
But you can double back up 1080p footage if you want. If you want it on two cards at once, for whatever fucking reason you would do.
Sort
that.
of nice.
Why would
but
you
I never
do that?
knew video people backed up video footage.
If you were
like
in a
that.
very specific situation where you had to shoot and then drop the footage to another person immediately without having to transfer,
Maybe. Yeah,
that might make sense. But other than that, no.
My other thing is ergonomics straight up.
Ergonomics, they're just not as good.
The Fujifilm just feels
They
good.
just feel better.
It feels like a camera.
Yeah, and I was gonna say like the rubber on my A7 was peeling off by the time I sold it. It was like pulling all the way off on the back, and it doesn't feel like the Fuji is ever gonna get to that point.
Nah, the Fuji, yeah. And I mean, this has nothing to do with like camera, like photography in general, but the Fuji films are just so beautiful.
I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it, though. Again, they don't look like a piece of electronics that you got in like a weird store in the mall. You know?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this A6300.
What is? That's a fucking weird. They actually kind of look like Leica, which Leica went in a weird direction with their design too recently.
That's kind of this is the camera that you should actually be comparing the Fujifilm to, because this is their crop camera.
Is it?
So if you compare it to this,
yeah, it destroys it. Destroys it.
It has to go up against the top of the line.
Yeah,
it has to.
Yeah,
that's the only.
I agree. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Oh,
I'm not sure.
No time lapse on the new A7 III.
That's weird.
Not even. Okay, so the A7S1 to do time lapse, you had to buy it. I bought a $10 app to do time lapse. I had to sign in to my PlayStation account.
I love PlayStation.
I had to sign in to my PlayStation account and buy a time lapse app for $10.
That's just ridiculous.
Isn't that insane? And the A7 III, they got rid of the PlayStation Store, so now you can't even buy the app if you want to do time lapse.
That's so weird.
I remember
they have weird choices.
I remember when I bought this, I was like, "Oh no, Gerald, they don't have time lapse though." And you're like, "Of course they have time lapse. Fuji's included time lapse in their shit forever."
I just.
Why wouldn't you? It's a fucking computer. It can obviously do time lapse.
It's just telling it
to click it over and over. It's a computer. It can clearly do that, but the Sony didn't include it.
That's
and
so
I don't know
weird.
why. People think they forgot.
That to include
People
it?
think that they removed the PlayStation Store last minute because people were having trouble. People were having trouble with it, and they forgot that what that means is that you can't get time lapse.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's not really any reason for me to ever even consider Sony at this point. Now that I'm in the Fuji system, like,
yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't care about. I don't care about the full frame video wise. I mean, my XT2 does enough quality video for the type of video work I do. Even if you were to like do any type of, if you were to step up, get an actual video camera.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've said this before in the
like,
in the podcast. I got this camera so I don't have to color it, so I can carry it around and it's good enough.
Yeah.
And it looks looks great right out of the camera. If I wanna shoot other stuff, I'm gonna use this thing. I have the red behind me right here. I'm gonna shoot this guy right here.
Yeah.
because
And
that's an actual video camera.
that's the real shit. That's the real shit.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, and I know a lot of people love Sony and everybody shoots Sony, but I don't know. Fuji just there's something about the images that come out of this guy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I
always say that. People always say that, and I don't know. It's not something you can really put into words. And like shooting the Fuji film is like you said, like it feels throwback, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it ergonomically it just is way. This one especially. I mean, I have big hands, and the H1 has a really really good grip for
Yeah,
people
the
with big
grip
hands.
is
So
yeah.
that I like, and it's just nice. I'm not worried about it physically, which is a big thing. I was worried about the Sony getting hurt or broken. I think this one feels way more solid and well built, and yeah, I mean, just right out of the camera, the footage just looks. I just drop
Awesome.
it. I mean, I
It
just
does.
drop it right into the
It does.
timeline. I don't even touch it.
Does Sony do the firmware upgrades? Because for people that
shit,
don't
no.
know,
They just
they don't.
just release a new camera every year.
for anybody that doesn't know, Fujifilm straight up upgrades your camera you've purchased for them,
For
giving
free.
giving no regard to whether it'll coerce you into buying a new camera because you deserve like
Because they're awesome. And
because it should be long lasting.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to think about buying a new camera every time a camera
no,
comes out.
obviously not. And the crazy part is Panasonic released a firmware update that you had to pay for. Do you remember that?
No,
The
buy it.
GH5S, they released
Buy
a
it.
firmware update, and you had to pay $20 in order to get
That's-
their 10-bit vlog recording.
I would be so annoyed.
What? You'd be like 20? You're just nickel and diming me for $20? That really worth it to you?
$20?
That's worth it to you,
Yeah.
Panasonic. Really?
It's worth it for
Another
$20.
company that makes fucking dryers. I think they make dryers.
Yeah. No, they make a bunch of shit. Vacuums. Yeah, so, yeah, Fujifilm releases firmware upgrades, and it's pretty ridiculous. Like, my X-T2 2 years ago didn't have slow-mo at all, and now I have 120 frame slow-mo on my camera. Just because.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, you didn't have this before, but you want a new thing for your camera that you might use?
Cool.
The last update also included focus stacking, which I've never used because I'm not a macro photographer.
But it is cool.
But
If you are,
if I ever need it, if I was,
or yeah, if you're shooting
What?
something specifically you need to shoot
I
macro,
wanna
you've got it now.
I mean, you can't beat that.
We should
And
do something with focus stacking. When we get that
Yeah,
when we
we
get
should try
that
it.
probe.
I have that macro lens. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that feature.
Try it. Yeah, give it a
Maybe that'd be
shot.
good.
See if you can get it to work.
Yeah, I know Fuji is the niche, and not a lot of people give them any respect, and I do believe that nobody cares.
Hey man, they don't, and it's unfortunate. I've been talking it up. People are always confused. What camera do you shoot on? Oh, this Fuji X-H1.
What?
Fuji.
Yeah, Fuji.
It's like, you don't shoot a Sony? No, I shoot the thing that I don't have to color because I don't like coloring footage when I'm trying to turn it around.
So
It also is cool to be on the underdog side.
it
you
is.
know what I mean?
It is, especially with what we're doing too. It's gonna be good. I mean, like
It's true. We're all about those underdogs.
They're
The
really-
marginalized.
the marginalized.
All right, although they're not really marginalized because people are giving them shit for that Xerox acquisition.
Whatever, dude. It's still a company, you know.
Yeah, they gotta make money.
I
that's
gotta
true.
do it. So yeah, I don't think Sony has anything to offer me personally. I won't switch. It doesn't have anything to offer Mike, obviously. Maybe they will in the future.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I think that their Cine Alta camera is really. I mean, people use it for cinema. It's like a $60,000 camera. It's a nice camera.
Sure.
The F5 is a nice
Oh, yeah,
video
the
camera
F5,
if you're willing to drop $7 to $10,000. Sure, that's a great video camera. But if we're talking DSLRs, but if I'm going to spend $10,000 on a camera, I'm going to get a red.
Mm-hmm. Or
I'm going to buy a used. I'm going to buy a
to.
used Epic. I can buy a used Epic for $7,000.
That's just the.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, if I'm trying to run and gun, I'm using a DSLR because that's
the way.
It's just. Oh, and the one thing I wanted to talk about too, I forgot to mention the IBIS is way better on a crop sensor for you video people. Look at the comparison of IBIS on a crop sensor versus. So even the Panasonic has good IBIS. It's a smaller sensor than the Fuji, so it's even better. Look at the comparison of IBIS on a crop sensor versus IBIS on a full frame. IBIS on a full frame, it's so big, it has nowhere to go. When the crop sensor, it's got tons of space to move, so you get a way smoother IBIS for those of you who shoot handheld or whatever.
So, yeah, if
I really need to get some gears for these lenses, though, dude.
If anybody is watching, put it in the comments. Let's have a conversation about why you think Sony is better.
Yeah, tell us why.
And don't just talk about like specs and stuff. Like, let's see some photos.
Let me know if we didn't hit the specs.
Let's see some pictures. Let's see some work.
True.
True.
We hit Manny Ortiz last time, and he uses the Sony well.
He was
so
doing
I'll
good.
Give him that.
Yeah. So if you're a fanboy and you don't actually take photos and all you do is talk about how sick Sony is, then
yeah, let's see it.
Proof
is in the pudding.
I'm not saying, but I would love to see somebody disregard, because everybody says, blah blah blah, we need this camera, but where the real genius is. It's in here.
Yeah. I was actually just watching, saying that I was just watching some stuff by Steven Soderbergh, who I sometimes don't love and sometimes I really like.
Mm-hmm.
He is proof that, like, camera doesn't really matter.
Yeah, sure.
You can tell. You use what you want to use because you can tell a story with anything.
Right.
He uses cell phones, shitty cameras, different, like, mixture of cameras that all have different resolutions. He doesn't give a shit. It's great.
It's the truth. And it's the truth. But I will say, you can have your giant-sized mirrorless cameras.
Yeah, it's just not usable.
I'm gonna keep my tiny one. I will be rocking a giant camera soon, hopefully, but it won't be a full frame.
That GFX. Well, you do have that giant 6x9, which I fucking love.
I know, it's practice. Speaking of which, we're gonna bring you a review of that soon.
Oh yeah, you got a review cooking?
Nah, I'm thinking about it.
You should. That'd be good.
Okay, that's episode 4, I guess, my friends.
Yeah, skip that. Let's not do that critique. Fuck that.
Oh, we'll do it next time.
This one went long. With shit talking Sony is gonna take a while.
Shit talking Sony's gonna take a while, and the
Chicago
talk about
it's a big episode.
Talking about those Chicago thugs is a long thing. So
the thugs.
Like, subscribe.
You're a little brown. You kind of look like a thug.
Yeah, I look like a thug, huh?
I'm just saying, your skin's a little brown.
God damn it!
They might call you a thug.
Yeah,
they might call you a thug.
I gotta make sure I don't look like a thug. I don't want to look like
There's nothing you can do.
That's true.
That's the problem.
Episode 5, hopefully next week. We're gonna bring you the happy episode.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot for it. Don't quote us on that, but hopefully next episode's the happy episode. We'll find. I'm gonna scour the web for some happy stories, and our main topic will be a positive one rather than shit talking Sony and why Chicago is full of violence.
You know why it is, right?
The thugs.
Thugs. Bye.
Peace. Thanks for watching.